Hello, everyone. Love, light, and gratitude. And, it's been a while since I've been on here speaking with you, and I do indeed keep so busy, as, most of you know that follows what we do. So, having said that, it's great to be back and just touch base with a few of you at least, and also to, perhaps answer any questions you may have on the current Ascension. And uh, before I look at, put your questions in the comments section, but please just wait for a couple moments until uh, I'm done speaking here. Uh, what I wish to say, what our work involves, our divine work and our divine mission, is it involves collaborating with you, with connecting with you individually, with assisting individuals, and in any way that we can. But it also involves a lot of energetic work uh, on the at the creator level, at the co-creator level. So everything is energy, and of course, creation begins from energy, to keep it simple. So what we are doing with the planet is ascending the planet through the energies into the higher energies, higher frequency, higher vibration. So to do that, of course, we are divine. You're divine. Anyone that is uh, has a soul of light, if you will, and is connected to Prime Creator, is divine, and going through this ascension. Uh, so, having said that, all of you, you affect the reality, which is energy, and we do as well. And with this, the way we affect the energy is for the good, for all upon the planet. And what the good, to name what the good is everything that is virtuous, moral, and ethical, and all of the good things, the benevolence, and that's what we do. And we keep very busy with it. And as most of you may know as well, with gpms.world, the worldwide referendum that we have for the people to transition them into the fifth dimensional state. That is ongoing and building consistently, and uh, allowing the transport, if you will, from the lower dimensional 4D reality into the fifth dimensional state. And of course, without going too much into GPMS, it's simply a worldwide referendum where it's collecting the voice of the people worldwide, which is the majority. And then what we do, to keep it simple, is that we distribute um, money to everyone, uh, for the good ways, in the good ways. So what we do, what we actually did with GPMS, is you had the old monetary system, which was about control. What many of you are dealing with now, and what it was designed to do was to create misery, lack, deprivation. But this is the new system. So we have flipped the tables on this old. And with the new system, it's an equal system where everyone has money, beyond comfort, and also you're not slaving and working hours. So everything with what we're doing with GPMS is, it's all inclusive for all of humanity. And to simply put it, the darkness is the dark days, the remnants of the darkness, what are still here now, that is all over. So the new world is being created, and uh, every day ones are becoming aligned with it and consenting and agreeing to support the new world. So you can look at GPMS, it's a worldwide referendum, and everyone has the right to choose. However, with this, the actual power is with the people worldwide, and the people are the majority. And GPMS is for the people. And anyone knows that majority rules that is given, and the majority is the people. But when you have them coming together universally from every nation worldwide, then nothing can stop nor stand in the way of this. And this is what GPMS is, because it's the worldwide um, collective voice, which is the majority upon the planet. So by doing this, it disempowers all of the old banking structure, all of the old governments, because they cannot contend. It is a no contest with the worldwide people in power and doing what is the most humane thing to do. And, with GPMS, what everyone is doing is eradicating poverty instantly once we get the majority vote collected, the worldwide referendum. So this is your 5D, the first echelon of it, actually. So we entered the age of Aquarius, if you will, a couple years ago. And as we entered that, GPMS is the new template for the new age to lift humanity again out of the senseless nonsense and the ridiculous, let's say, interacting with the evil. So GPMS lifts humanity away from all of that evil, because everything is vibration, is frequency. And by raising all of the human souls up to the higher vibration and frequency, well, the darkness cannot go. They cannot vibrate at that level. So once we have humanity, up here, which will occur very quickly, your ascension to the first level, the planetary ascension, is accomplished. It is completed. And again, it's ascertained, it's guaranteed, and nothing can prevent what it is. And if any of you that may have been skeptical in the past or do not know yet, are not aware of what GPMS.world is, I suggest to look at it, and you will see that it's very blatant that it is the worldwide choice. And because it's all inclusive, you can see what it does. It uplifts the world and places the world in a stress-free environment. And what's so important with the ascension, by doing that, doing this one thing that lifts all boats, if you will, then everyone quickly heals. A paradigm shift has occurred and is constantly occurring with this to create the new reality. So it creates the place, the stress-free environment for all to heal very quickly. And the consciousness changes very quickly and instantly. The same way, like some of you have had abrupt awakenings, your whole world, if you will, turned upside down. As we know, every day, every moment, many more are awakening to the truth um, of the lies that once was. And that is part of the awakening, as we know. So everyone needed to see the lies, so they make the choice also for the new world and get aligned in creating this. So it's here. Your 5D absolute connection is here, and it's through the unity and the voice of GPMS. So I'm going to have a look and see if there's any questions here. And hello, everyone. Love and light. Great to see you all. Okay, first question. I see William asks, can you speak to the present energies of Lionsgate? And with this, yes, William, absolutely. Let's look at the couple weeks leading up to Lionsgate. What you would have seen, the common theme was um, any leading up to Lionsgate for about 2 weeks. One's had individual tests and lessons and things that could not go forward into the shift after the Lionsgate, which I believe occurred. The shift was documented here, I think, about maybe 3 days ago, a few days after Lionsgate. But leading up to that, the 2 weeks prior in this linear time frame, in here, many were subjugated to their individual tests and um, their ability. They were subjugated to things that needed to be cleared within them, and that can be done through the consciousness and through the heart. But these sort of negative things, and you could even say traumatic, had to be revisited and let go of from the heart, and also period of about a couple weeks where they had to revisit things that they had not reconciled within them and transmuted, transitioned to the higher. Um, they had to do this. They had to go through it, and it was also done on a collective level as well as an individual level. And when I say the collective level, one of my gauges for being what I am, an ascended master, a powerful co-creator, and a teacher here, at any given time, one of the things I do is I gauge the energetics and I gauge the collective consciousness, but also I assist at transmuting for the collective as well as many of you do. And having said that, to transmute from the collective, it's identified when it comes in, what it is, and then it's reconciled and transmuted. But also where some of that comes in to I from the collective, again, it identifies what it is, but I also can gauge it to know what is being cleared at any present time. So um, with everything is energy, so with the emotions and with what it is, it's easily read. So if um, one theme comes in, there are many messages with that. It's not just what the theme is about, because everything is all connected. It affects everything, and there's a lot of information that is carried through on every theme. And the Lion's Gate, a great success. So also what I entered into the reality is a little Leo Lion's Gate as well for the children, and it's time to integrate that so that the children partake more in the new world if they choose to. But it's a great introduction to energies and creation and how everything works. But it's also seeding the new reality for the children, and preparing so they do have a place that is for them, that they begin to participate and learn as well about the energetics, because the new age is about the empathic and energetic ones, and we're clearing all of the energies. So for the children to sustain a place also in the 5D, their education to whatever degrees and being informed about energy is invaluable, so they can sustain their physical vessels in the higher vibration too. So it needed to be introduced, and of course there'll be many um, mystery schools or schools for children to learn all about this. And having said that, I have spoken to ones before that that is part of their divine guidance when the time is ready to begin these schools for children. And also, for let's say someone just awakening, that needs to get informed. So it's all inclusive. The schools, mystery schools, and the schools of empowerment as well as we go forward. So, Lionsgate, excellent, and so we're on the other side of it. What we do see, also what may be happening concurrently with some, what you're witnessing, is the remnants of darkness that are still here in your reality. And I need to say there are remnants of darkness because there is no more organization with them, and it hasn't been since 2012. That's why they keep putting their foot in their mouth, if you will. And it's why there is no organization or no control with the darkness. And, yes, they made vain attempts at trying to throw wrenches into things, but again, it's all in vanity, and it doesn't go anywheres because the dominant energy upon the planet since 2012 has been the light. And prior to 2012, it was, let's say, the darkness, but 2012 was a significant pivot point. It's actually when uh, the light quotient upon the planet had actually outweighed the darkness. So then, setting up for the new age, there was the revelation period, setting up, for the new age that come in a couple years ago. So everything is divinely ordained, and of course you could perspect it. I could put another higher perspective on this, but there is no need for that, for the perspective I just gave simply explains what occurred back then. So every event like a Lion's Gate, mass meditation, eclipse meditation, ceremonies, everything that is energetic and with the good intent, it proliferates and it grows. And anything of ill intent or satanic intent, it implodes right now. It's no longer supported. So it's constantly in destruction as the construction of the new world is occurring. And it's important for everyone at this point in time to know that you are more powerful than any of the remnants of darkness. Also meaning that you don't need to do like geographical clearing of areas as much as you did in the past, where you are a being of light, a divine being, and you're more enhanced than you ever were. You can just utilize that anchoring in the light and the sacred rays, and that does the work for you. You don't need to do much clearing because this is the dominant supported energy. And what you will find by doing that, by anchoring in the white light, for example, what I suggest to ones at certain opportune times when the correct energy is there to do it. And what it does, it creates geographically a good clearing place that you don't need to directly involve yourself in the density that needs to be cleared, because you've just brought in the white light. So without rambling too much, yeah, the Lion's Gate, all of these are always a success. Nothing fails in this now. The dark remnants of darkness at times might try to trick you to think that. But what you need to know, as a powerful co-creator, all of you, you're all co-creators. The ones of you that are souls of light, um, when you believe something, you create it. So having said that, the darkness will say, "Oh, maybe the Lion's Gate was a failure." No, no, no. That is just trickery, and it's a fear, because it's what they propagate. To trick. If they can trick a co-creator like you into believing that for then what it does, it creates it for them. So don't get caught up in any of that trickery. Know your strength in numbers. Do not be separated um, from each other by some lie for you what is valid and what is a trick. And any of you know you don't want to be separated from all of your good divine comrades. And because there is strength in numbers, and there is the strength in the energetic fields that you create when you're all connected. And the unity is so important, because we're all here to do this divine mission, but it takes all of us. Everyone has pieces of the puzzle, and the unity is so important to bring all of the pieces together. And this is also what creates the ascension. And the remnants of darkness knows that one of their biggest threats is the unity of the awakened ones and the divine ones. That's why they try to separate and throw distractions in there. But be wise and know what it is. You know in your heart who is genuine, who is authentic, and who is of love and good vibrations and goodwill. So with that, you know yourself, and you're able to discern. And with this, I will say, in the past, I've had a few a couple, two, three very powerful ones that I love dearly, but they had to get separated. And this is for divine reasons. But however, saying this, when they're done and have learnt their lessons and what was involved, then they come back with us, because we're all unity. So really there is not any separation. Any separation is temporary from any of the light the light souls. So it's important to use your discernment features. Don't let yourself get negative. If you get negative in the mind, then you're going to be attracting negative, fearful things into your reality, which then begins you to question yourself, and even perhaps question your divine mission, because questioning is doubt, which is fear, but it's caused by a negative consciousness as well. Now we are in very high times of manifesting again, and the last couple days has with your manifestation abilities, you'll find that they occur much quicker and instantaneous now, because all of you also have become stronger. And with your great divine discipline, and because of the recent clearing with the Lion's Gate, if you will, that last bit of clearing for those of you that passed the test, then it just raised you to another level of your divine empowerment. So now you get more of the chance to don't get caught up in the drama or the negative mindset or even any of that environment. Keep yourself good, at least neutral and pure, but towards the positive, and you'll see that reflected in your reality very quick. And if any negative thoughts come in, just say, no, no, no. Reconcile them immediately, transition them to the positive in whatever tools work for you uh, in the right way. But so I'll see what other. I was rambling for quite a spiel, and I'll see what other questions we got down here. I believe the feed is going great. Hey, Coco, Chris, nice to see you too. Trying to scroll here. I'm not trying, I am. Scrolling to see if there's any questions. Okay, I don't see any more questions with that, so I'll just quickly ask one right at this time. Um, how is the feed since you've been watching it? Has it been pretty good? So someone can comment with that, please, if you will, and just see what's going. I know some were having problems with the feed, but also, worldwide with the internet, and because everything is energetic, we also affect things individually, but also on the wide scale with the internet. Great. Joanna Child asks, hi Rick, have you got posters, leaflets for distribution in London, please? Joanna, if you're referring to GPMS, on the GPMS website there is a resources uh, page or tab, I believe, that you can go to, and there's PDF brochures and posters, perhaps, that you can print off there. But also, anyone that is GPMS, you can also make your own. And because with GPMS, it's all the people. There is no boss with it. No one boss. It's all the people are your own bosses, if you will. And whatever you feel to do at getting the word out is great. There's guardians of it, and let's say directors, in the sense to give assistance and direction where we're going. You need that little bit at least of order, but there is uh, there is no restrictions on how ones wish to share the word. Use your ingenuity, anyone. So, and do whatever you wish. So check the website. Yeah. Uh, and great. Looks, sounds fine. Just came on. Thank you. I learned. That's beautiful. And thank you, Joanna. Yeah. So um, do we have any more questions that I could ask? See, Max Johnson or Jax Johnson says more energy when gathering on ley lines. That is true as well, Jax. And with this, I need to say that upon the planet, any of you that have been following us for a while, or that there is the new leyline 5D leyline grid system, and it is different than the old grid system. However, there are many many energetic lines as well. But what I need to say is, all of you, any of you that are very empowered at this time, you can create and feel the energy anywheres upon the planet, because you are the one also creating. But where you're becoming stronger, it's important to discern exactly what you're feeling, if it's a ley line or if it's energy in the area. So you need to hone your skills to distinguish and discern on what you're actually feeling. Having said this, if we look at the old chakras of Gaia, Terra now, if you will, we have also changed some of these chakras with ley lines coming off of. And one of the reasons we had to do this with the 5D ley line grid when we were constructing it, and with earthquakes, in certain places to hold the grid around the planet. Um, One thing, we had to reroute things, and one of the reasons is because of the extensive mining of resources, both metal and gas and oil, because it had disabled the old field, if you will. And in 2012, between November 18th and 23rd, that's when the 3D, that's when the planet did tip, and everyone was taken to a fourth dimensional space. But the reason the planet tipped as well, with a pole reversal, the reason why that occurred is because what holds the old 3D ley line system on the planet is the electromagnetic charge, which is in Gaia, Terra herself, which is, it holds the ley lines in place so they don't oscillate, and with the magnetics tip the planet. So everything is uh, energy and electrical and magnetic, as we know, to create a stable field. But what had occurred with the extensive mining of resources uh, and gas and oil and what have you, it had taken out the electromagnetic charge of these deposits to hold the ley lines in place. And that's what caused the flip. So with the new 5D ley line system, it cannot be compromised, and it's also forever. It has a changing rhythm in it, that it's not a defined rhythm also, so that it cannot be compromised, to keep it short without rambling on. But yes, ley lines are very important, and there's new ones, and they're stronger than anything you could ever imagine before, and they cannot be compromised. Let's see if there's any more questions. So Toro says there has been heavy energy feeling, sickness, and drained. You know what I say, Toro, on an individual level, one needs to discern, like, what is the density that they have within them. Do they still have negativity and fear? Because if they are, then you become a magnet for that. So you need to discern that. But once you have done your inner work and are in a place of absolute trust with who you are and your connection to divine, and you know there's nothing to fear, then when you feel density or what have you, then you know it's coming from the outside. So then what you do is you go into a transmuting of whatever that energy is. And yes, and it can also feel sickening. And also, one of the great gauges is if you feel the sickening, let's say in your stomach area, which is your solar plexus area, and if you've done all your inner work, then you know that where it's in the solar plexus area, you are taking some density from the collective so that they become more empowered in that area, because that is the place of divine power. And of course, it's part of their process um, that they need to transmute this as well. But there are times when there's excess, so higher divine ones will transmute some of this for the collective so they can also raise another notch without getting too deep into it, if you will. So it's everything is energy, and it's a process, and you can also look at each one of you at times being divine guinea pigs as well, to in a sense that you got to do the work for others. But once you get up, when it's all done, then you'll see the reasons why, and you'll be very grateful and very happy that you contributed in taking some density from someone else so we can all rise. Because the thing is, no one per se, or very few, can go forward and leave here. You're all here to do a divine mission and ascend the planet. So if you're leaving the planet, you're doing nothing for the mission. So, having said that, for the most part, the divine warriors and way showers are here to do an important divine work. Unprecedented it is, and however, it's all ascertained and guaranteed, and it's not all the fluffy bunny stuff, if you will. It's a serious energetic work, and the quicker you learn about energetics and the dynamics of it, and how creation works, then you are just so much more easy. You will find it so much more easier to navigate. So by knowing what is actually occurring and what is causing the discordant or disharmonized energy you're feeling. And puts a question here without reading it. Yes, you are correct, and we are overwriting the old imprint, meaning, in the least, that stuff happened in the past, and uh, we don't really need to visit a lot of what occurred, because when you look at it, it doesn't matter right in this now when you have the full ability to create the new. You don't need lessons, if you will, from the past to create the new, because the new is created with morals and ethics, and you have everything right in the heart. And but of course, the lessons have been valuable to get everyone to this point, but you don't need to go back. And that balance of you come, let's say this was the darkness and this was you, then you come to the balance point just prior to 2012, but now you're more light, so, and then you raised above that. So having said that, you're in co-creator status. You're in your abilities to manifest, meaning that anything that you may feel from the darkness or any density from the past, you are in the moment. You have the full capacity and ability just to put that out of the way. You don't want them obstacles. You're here to create the new, free, and abundant world, and to place humanity in that. So it's important for ones not to spend a lot of time on that. Sure, it may still enter your field, so you're educated divinely on what it does, and that, so that you will know also your own power on how to uh, transition it as well. Yeah. And old layers, old records. Yeah, again, these are old. When you said that word, these are old. So old records, whatever it may be, they're no more of any value. You don't need them. We're creating the new records, and that's where the focus needs to be, and we're creating it with everything good uh, with that. Thank you. Okay, any other questions from anyone? Pretty, everyone's pretty great, you know. I haven't been on here for a month or so, or perhaps longer, but there's not many messages. But I understand, you know, the timing as well, because a lot from North America usually watches and comes on and has questions, but you know, it's about almost 11 here. We're in Denmark, and it's 5 p.m., I believe, Eastern Standard Time, so it's on a Monday. So others may be busy, but nevertheless, you know, anyone can watch this later when they choose. Rick Thornbrook, he usually puts it up um, in the chat here, a YouTube of it, or also on the channel. He has set up where you can see all of my past lives that I've done. I believe for the most part he has collected them all and has put them to YouTube. So if anyone chooses, you can check that. And Rick Vornbrook, he'll most likely put a link to that channel where all of these lives have been downloaded to YouTube. And if he puts a link in the comments here, any of you can access it there. I just don't remember right at this moment in the operating consciousness what the name of that channel is that he has set up, but it should be under Rick Jors, I believe, if you do a search. So you have a look. So Ramona says, will you guys come to Romania to activate portals? Ramona, with that rate, still on our divine mission, Romania is still there. It's still important. And at this moment, as far as I'm divinely given, yes, we will be going to Romania. And as we know, Mount Bucegi is very important, and let's say the access codes and keys, I and Femke has them without going into too much about that. But not only Romania, Serbia, Retang is very important in that area as well. So, yeah, Romania, and I love to the Rick part of this physical vessel would love to go to Romania as well, to see the beauty and to visit the higher light ones that are in there too. And of course, all around the planet, the higher light ones, all of us are strategically placed, you know, all these light bulbs, which more lights are coming on every day all around the planet. And it'll be so great to meet in person so many of you. And you know, in this great time of unity and coming together, and yeah, these are the times. So yeah, it'd be so great to see so many of you as well, and to visit your places. You know, so far I wish to give Femke's and mine greatest gratitude to all of you that have assisted us, you know, along our way, and with your hospitality and your courtesy when we physically met, and you know, we stayed at in many places and physically met with a lot of you, and it's always a pleasure and a good feeling, it's so good to unite and connect physically, as we know, without going into too much rambling on that. So much gratitude and respect, love and light for every one that has assisted us on this journey. And just we love you, and we're getting close to the end of the mission, I believe. And but not only do I believe that, we can see it. As I said, when you look at the numbers on the GPMS website, you can see that it's got a real good footing, but also it can go viral in the blink of an eye. And that is your new reality, and nothing can stop it. So all of your children, all of your family, everyone is set free and happy. None of the old ridiculous stuff. So we're getting close. Yeah. Don't ask me when. Or you can. I like to say in 2 days, but let's see how long it takes for everyone to be able to come into alignment and register their voice, and to unite all together as one voice. But again, with GPMS, it's irresistible and it's inevitable. So, having said that, everyone will choose it that is of a good heart and of light. So, that's why it's inevitable. And let's see. Okay, let's see if there's any more. Oh, thank you, Anne. So Anne has put Rick Vornbrook's YouTube channel up. I believe it's got the Rick Jors lives in there. So, uh, okay, I gotta scroll back here a little bit. Uh, so, okay, but, comments just were jumping. How many people need to consent for the GPMS to activate? So, excellent question, Angela. What occurs once 51% of the planet has joined their consent with it, then you have just made the majority of the planet, which is the absolute law. Then things just reverberate very quickly with this. And so, you're saying how many people need to consent for the GPMS to activate. For it to come to fruition, we need that 51% of the planet. However, what we have witnessed is we use Thailand as an example because they are the biggest supporter so far of GPMS. But what occurred with Thailand when they reached a number of consents which equated to decimal 0.0002% of the population of Thailand, what occurred, they witnessed a paradigm shift within Thailand, with the consciousness raising higher, one's interconnecting, the love and the sharing, more happiness. The stress was relieved because they knew what GPMS was. They had a direction. Uh, because if you look worldwide right now, ones that are not awake or in aligned with GPMS, they may not have a direction, but where Thailand did. But it's interesting, even though what's interesting is the minute number, what it takes to create a noticeable shift. So, having said that, if you put that number out worldwide, uh, if you apply the decimal 0.0002% on 8 billion people, like I guess it's somewhere around a million. So, if you can imagine a million, uh, when we get to a million consenting to GPMS, that creates a paradigm shift and upliftment in consciousness. and then, it can spark off the virality. But having said that, uh, as we go forward with GPMS, the more that joins, it also raises reality up. So having said that, with everyone that joins, it's having a great effect on the outside. And you, it's possible that when GPMS reaches 1 million consent, that within a matter of days, it could be to the majority worldwide. So you can have huge numbers very quickly. So, just saying the variables that are quite real, the factors that could come in to set this viral very quickly. And, you know, without speculating, if you will, what we're tangibly seeing is like in India now, Peru, Spain, um, U.S. and Canada, what we're seeing, it's well seeded in there, but we're seeing these other countries began to take off with GPMS. When I mean take off, they're seeing it and they're beginning to get their people. So very quickly it proliferates and we go towards it. Thank you. And hey, Mary Beth. Yeah, flashes of light. We had some lightning here, so you may have saw that too tonight. Because I feel we're at the completion of a very important activation. We've been working on 3 weeks here, divinely kept in the same location. However, with the lightning and the rain, that usually comes to seal in and to activate a lot of the work that we've done, and it usually means a part of completion. So we're upon the planet, but let's say our divine orders. Uh, we're not given a paper with what we do next. The way it occurs, and I know many of you will identify uh, to this, is that in the moment or in the day, then you're given what to do next. You're not given this huge readable list. It's not how it works. We do one thing at a time, and with these recent activations, they're sequential and they're layered, because we're working with all of creation. And once we do something with an activation, we need to wait for the rest of reality to acclimatize to that great effect, what we did. So then there's periods of linear time that we must wait, and then it extends the duration of linear time for the full activation, to give you an idea what's involved. So there are times when Femke and I are, we love to keep moving forward and meeting as many of you, and seeing uh, the other beautiful parts of Gaia Terra we have not seen yet. However, it's so important what we are doing now to this has to be done, and it's why we're doing it. And of course, we have many others that comes in. We have ones that are physically assisting at different times. There's different ones too that will assist with the physical representation with the activations. And then of course we have the remote contingent of ones that assist and support remotely. And we always we always have what is required and what is needed with these activations. It's divinely ordained from a higher level. So, for example, what we have here is Agnes and Elizabeth have showed up from the Netherlands, two beautiful divine feminine souls that are very powerful comrades, and they were, unbeknownst to us, they were divinely sent and to assist with this important activation we're doing. And having said that, also Mike and Dean from the UK brothers. I anticipate we'll be seeing them shortly, and they play a very important integral role in the activations as well. So we keep, very busy. Uh, in the past, at least up to this now. I don't wish to create. We're always busy. There is. We're doing all this to get to a place where we don't need to do it anymore. And this is the same as with your individual healing and also with healers. Like, it's not good enough for a healer to heal someone and not give them the knowledge and the information of what is going on. For you don't create a looping scenario where ones are always healing someone. You create the one solution that heals everyone and does it, and place them in the environment as well, where they're able to heal much more quickly. So we're not looping, we're not going back. You don't go back in time to get the answers. You don't go back to 1776 or any of that. That's all in the past. We're creating the new and we're going straight forward. You're not going back, and it's important. Don't think that the answers are in the past. They're not. They're in the now, in the still moment, in the void, and what we create going forward. You don't need any of that from the past. It doesn't pertain, and it doesn't belong in the new. Thank you. Okay, great. Any more questions, anyone? Woo! We got a big boom here and a flash of light. It's excellent, and that's good. Okay. So that's about an hour, and doesn't look like it's too much more questions. So what I'll do is, generally worldwide, the stage is all set. So what's occurring with the lower timeline, if you will, the 4D, where you got the fear paradigm and the governments and things, that is the lower timeline. The higher timeline is here, what we're creating going forward, and it's above that. And but this has to play out, but rapidly imploding, for ones also to make the choice to create the new. So there is, if you will, the destruction of the old while the construction is taking place. So having said that, everyone, whatever environment you're in, you do what you need to do morally and ethically to survive, which you always survive, but to exist as we keep going through until we get the new world here, which is coming very shortly. So, and where everything instantly changes. So again, anyone that's watching this, gpms.world, that's the website to check it out, and to understand it's a worldwide referendum, and I suggest for everyone to let everyone else know about it. Say this is important. It's just like supporting a petition, but you need to put your presence on it. So you need to put your email address or what have you. You don't even need a phone number, but you need to make that mark in there, so that you're counted in the vote. Worldwide referendum, because it's the people, the majority, and once you have this all documented, this creates the new world. So it's important that every one of you and every child upon the planet has their voice registered or logged or consented, their support, their accord, whatever word you wish to use. But it's important that your accord, and every child, every soul upon the planet, that your accord is put on the website, if you will, under the consent tab we have, that you support this new free and abundant world. And every child's voice is recognized. You as a parent, if you have a 1 day old child, you as the guardian for that child, you can put speak for your child and register their vote online as well. So support the petition, if you will. And many of you have done that, so you can look at this as a worldwide referendum. It's not a petition because it doesn't have to be given to anyone to receive validation or authority. What this is, it is the absolute authority that doesn't need to be validated, approved, or accredited by anyone, because it's the people and it's the absolute. But yeah, look at it as a vote, but it's a worldwide referendum, which is collecting the voice, the consent, and then it's done. Nothing stops it. So it's only the length of time it takes, again, to gather the voice here and all in one place. And it's so important, any of the Ascension teachers out there, the spiritual teachers, the soul teachers, the gurus, what have you. It's so important that all of them carry the GPMS message and get it out through their networks as well. They have a divine role and position to play. Many of these gurus and spiritual healers, tarot card readers, they have big audiences, and it's important that they do their part and give GPMS to the people, and they can witness the beauty of what it does, and to all of their followers. So the stress-free is what's so important, and it lifts all boats. So any spiritual teachers, you should be carrying this message. Every sovereign group worldwide should be carrying this message. Any co-creators, any creative society should be carrying this message. It should be everyone right at this time to assist all together to get the voice collected as soon as possible. And then we get it done. So it's important for all leaders, if you will, of the people that are out there to get informed on this and to know what it is, and to get this information to all of your followers, your listeners. If you're someone that does podcasts, if you will, mention it, inform the people about this most blatant absolute choice that is irresistible, irrevocable, inevitable, and imminent. So if everyone gets together and plays their role at distributing the awareness of GPMS worldwide, we get the voice collected, gathered much quicker, and we get the old insanity of the money and with the governments. That is all gone. So beautiful. I saw the door open, but beautiful Femke. It just started to rain. She must have put something inside her. Okay. Angela Suber says, are we going to need herbal medicine? During going forward, one's will, yes, it's very important to have that, and all of the holistics and natural products. So, yeah, they're valuable tools to be able to create good health, but also to sustain great health as well. So yes, herbal medicine is important. Okay, having said that, everyone, what I feel I'll do is this has been great, and I'm going to shut this down for tonight. So this is peace. This is unity, and this is so important. This is not any Masonic hand signals or what have you. This is togetherness and unity. And, with this, what I need to say is that many of you may know about the darkness, how they would try to steal the symbols and use them for themselves. Well, what I need to say is we are in the times of the light that reclaims everything and transitions it for the light. So it's important to know that. And so, yeah, this is again peace. This is unity, togetherness, and of course, from my heart, great love and light and gratitude. So, have a beautiful evening, and thank you all. Did you want to say hi, Fem, or?
Hey,
Yeah, it started to rain out there. Okay, have a great one, everyone, and love, light, and winks, and yeah, we're close to the finish line. And have a beautiful morning, day, night, wherever you may be.